A few months ago, my friend Steve Barwick reached out to me and asked if I would consider reviewing the movie Krull. I told him that I'd add it to my monthly non-horror movie review poll. We chatted a bit, and that was that. Krull won the poll for May's selection with 60% of the vote. And this is the point in the video where I'd normally be telling Steve that this video is for him and I hope he loves it. But Steve passed away suddenly and very unexpectedly in mid-April. Steve Barwick was a thoughtful, kind, and caring man with one of the warmest smiles you've ever seen. Life tried to take that smile from him more than a few times, but he always managed to find it again. He loved with his whole heart, he laughed with his whole body, and he was my friend. So Steve, this one is for you. We love you and we miss you. Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the 3-Minute Horror Show. My name is Ben, your host, and sometimes I don't watch horror movies, but I do watch the bad movies so that you don't have to. You're welcome. Today I'll be reviewing the movie Krull from 1983. A young king and a disparate group of oddballs and weirdos leverage their differences to overcome an alien monster and its minions that want to steal his queen and destroy their world.
Wow.
This movie was directed by British filmmaker Peter Yates, who used to drive race cars before he started directing movies. He directed films from the late 1960s right up into the mid-2000s, including Bullet and Robbery. 2 of his movies were even nominated for Best Picture Academy Awards. Krull is not streaming for free here in Canada, but you can rent it on pretty much any service that you can rent stuff from. A massive ship that looks something like a mountain travels the galaxy, eventually coming to rest on the planet Krull. This is the flying palace of the Beast and his army of slayers. They subjugate and destroy worlds and then they move on. The Beast is doing this to the people of Krull, and as a result, the princess of one ruling kingdom decides to choose the prince of the opposing kingdom as her husband, in order to unite the realms against the Beast. Luckily, she loves the guy too, so that's handy. Unluckily, though, the Slayers attack the wedding with their laser rifle energy sword thingies mid-ceremony, killing everyone but the new king and queen. She is abducted and taken back to the bad guy palace, and he is left for dead. Director Peter Yates did not like making this movie. He even went on vacation partway through filming.
What?
It reportedly cost $30 million to make in the early 1980s. Adjusted for inflation today, that's nearly $100 million. Holy crap.
Boom!
The effects were large and very complicated. They used a vast combination of stop-motion animation, miniatures, forced perspective, and early video effects. Some of the larger effects, like the walls pulling apart and closing back together within the Dark Palace, were achieved using hydraulic machinery. And on several occasions, those machines would malfunction, becoming very dangerous and slamming back together very quickly.
Yikes!
Adding in the fact that the movie performed rather poorly at the box office, they only made back around half of what was spent, I can see why this might not have been Yates' favorite project. But it has developed a huge cult following in the decades since. An old hermit comes down from his mountain home to heal the new king Colwyn, and he tells him what has happened to his bride. If Colwyn wants to rescue her, he's going to need help in the form of people and weaponry, so the first order of business is to retrieve the sacred glaive from the top of a mountain. It's a gnarly climb, and Colwyn retrieves the glaive from a river of lava. Upon his touch, all the muck falls off of the thing and it goes back to its pristine condition. Step 2 is locate the Emerald Oracle that can tell them where to find the moving palace. They encounter a mage of some sort who seems kind of odd and accidentally turns himself into a goose. He decides to join them. These 3 run into a band of highwaymen, including Liam Peason and Robbie Coltrane, and they manage to convince them to join the cause. They're attacked by Slayers on the way to the cave of the Emerald Oracle, and a Cyclops decides to help them out. He joins the party as well. The 1980s were truly a magical time to grow up if you're a fan of the fantasy genre. Sure, the kids of the 2000s had Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies to enjoy, but in the 1980s we had such a variety of fantastical worlds to enjoy on the big screen.
Yep.
Here are just a few of the fantasy movies that I grew up with. We had The Dark Crystal in 1982. This was an epic adventure played out using Muppets created by Jim Henson's company. We had The Never-Ending Story in 1984. I saw this twice in the theater and many times on video since, and I'm still trying to get over the death of Artax the horse. We had Legend in 1985. A young Tom Cruise needs to stop a devil from plunging the world into darkness. And that devil was played by Tim Curry, and he looked incredible. We also had Labyrinth in 1986. where David Bowie played a Goblin King who stole the baby brother of young Sarah, and she needed to embark on a quest to save him. Second billing should go to the bulge in David Bowie's pants.
Oh my.
And last but not least, we had Willow in 1988, where Willow, played by Warwick Davis, taught us that no one is too small to save the world, as long as they're brave and they have a good heart. When they finally reach the lair of the Oracle, the Beast sees them watching with his powers and cuts the Oracle off. There's a special place where the Beast power does not reach, but it's deep, deep in the dangerous swamp. During a quicksand mishap, a changeling that works for the Beast replaces the Emerald Oracle. Luckily, the Cyclops figures that out and kills the changeling, but this highlights a new source of danger for the band of warriors. The Beast can send someone that looks like any of them after them. With the Emerald Oracle gone, the crew decide to approach the deadly Widow of the Web and the spider that guards her to find the palace. Meanwhile, the Beast tries to convince the new queen to marry him instead. If you'd like to see how this plays out, and I recommend you do, you'll have to watch the movie. This movie is very visually impressive. Considering that this was released in 1983, the effects they used to accomplish what they were trying to present were visionary. The Slayers use energy weapons, and when they aren't shooting blue laser bolts at their enemies, their swords are generating a red lightning effect. The Slayers themselves remind me of Illithids or Mind Flayers from Dungeons & Dragons. They appear to be small octopus-like creatures operating meat suits. Very cool.
Yes.
Even the Cyclops eye effect was impressive for the time. But the Fortress of the Beast is a work of art. It's a technological and organic hybrid that seems to pulse and shift like a living creature. Setting aside all the visuals, this is a tale about love, duty, and personal sacrifice wrapped in the shell of grand fantasy. It's wonderful. Make sure you let the people you care about know you love them. Steve, thank you for being a good friend. I rate Krull a 9 out of 10. As always, a link to my letterboxd appears in the video's description. Please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does boost my engagement and helps my channel grow. Smell you later, nerds.